Now, we've just started the second season of the Evil Dead television series, which is a sentence that I never expected to say, but here we are. So, the interesting bit about the TV series is figuring out which parts of continuity from the old series that they're using because of copyrights and all that, which actually brings up the topic of continuity within the original series and how it works. And the answer is, it doesn't. So, it all starts back in 1981 with 5 college students on their way to an old abandoned cabin in the woods. We're introduced to Ash, his girlfriend Linda, sister Cheryl, best friend Scott, and Scott's girlfriend Shelly. From the get-go, we know that something is up in the woods because the Steadicam monster makes the car wheel go nuts. When they get to the cabin, strange things continue to happen, culminating in the basement door flying open. And then down there, they find the kind of things that you should leave in the basement, like a weird-looking knife, an old tape recorder, and oh yeah, a book bound in human flesh. After a round of that classic party game, let's read from the skin book we found. The ancient evil in the woods is woken up and makes its presence known. A bit later, Cheryl goes off into the woods alone because smart, and is promptly molested by a tree branch. The crew find that they're trapped there because the bridge is out, and shortly after, Cheryl goes full deadite and is locked in the cellar. Shelly also gets taken, and the boys, Scott, chop her up. Scott abandons Ash, and Linda is transformed into a creepy, laughy demon. And then Scott comes back in tatters, and Ash is forced to kill Linda by chopping her head off and burying her, marking the grave with a makeshift cross. Ash has some surreal moments right before demonized Scott and Cheryl both attack him, but he manages to toss the book into the fire, which seems to do the trick, and the attackers all explode into stop motion. As the sun rises, Ash walks off in victory, only to be attacked by an unseen force, seemingly killing him. But then 6 years later, a sequel is finally released, but due to a rights issue, they weren't able to use any footage from the original, so a new prologue was shot, only this time it's just Ash and Linda that go to the cabin. It's pretty clear that we're supposed to view this as a soft reboot of the series, and the first movie no longer exists. Ash finds the dagger, book, and recorder combo in the cabin, plays the tape, and the evil is loose again. Linda gets repossessed and gets her head chopped off a second time, and Ash has to make yet another makeshift cross for her. And then the next morning, the unseen force attacks Ash and carries him through the forest. So, here's the thing, if you want to go ahead and ignore the remake aspect of this one and view it as a continuation of the first one, this is where you would start it. This is pretty much the end point of the previous film, and all you have to do is imagine that, Ash gets knocked against a tree so hard that he temporarily forgets that the bridge is out and tries to cross it again, and voila, you have maintained a storyline continuity. Things get surreal again, and Ash is forced to chop off his own hand with a chainsaw. And anyway, more people show up at the cabin in the form of Annie, whose parents own the cabin, her boyfriend Ed, and 2 local bumpkins, Reliable Jake and Bobby Joe. And oh yeah, Annie's mother is in the cellar, and she's pretty crazy looking now. Ed gets taken pretty quickly, and Ash has no trouble chopping him up. Bobby Joe gets attacked by the trees, although they don't get quite as personal as they did with Cheryl, and they drag her to her doom. Ash actually gets taken over himself and attacks Jake and Annie, leading up to Jake getting blendered by Henrietta. Through the power of love, though, Ash is able to fight off the Deadeye control. And then after one of the coolest sequences in film history, they face off against Henrietta and read some key passages from the book, causing a rift in time and space, pull the evil into a portal. Unfortunately, Annie is killed by Ash's hand, and Ash himself is pulled into the portal as well. He's taken back all the way to medieval times, where he quickly kills a flying Deadite and is then hailed by the remaining knights. Legal battles delayed the next sequel a few years, and we didn't get to see a third part until 1992, and although I love Army of Darkness, come on, they should have stuck with Medieval Dead. How cool would that have been? Anyway, although we do sort of get a new prologue, it's still mostly in continuity with just a quick retelling and a different Linda. Our big continuity break happens at the very beginning, when things are different once Ash lands in the past. The white streak in his hair is gone, although it's there in the flashback, and there is no initial Deadite attack. Also, the knights don't worship him, instead immediately enslaving him. Again, if you want to maintain the illusion of one continual storyline, simply delete the last couple of minutes of Evil Dead 2, ending it just as Ash drops into the porthole and into the third movie. Anyway, Ash quickly wins over the kingdom by taking out the pit Deadite and begins his quest to find the book. He accidentally unleashes evil forces and creates an evil duplicate himself, because between the last movie and this one, Ash becomes pretty damn stupid. I mean, the Ash we all know and love. Ash kills his duplicate and burns it, giving it its own makeshift cross. The Army of the Dead kidnaps Ash's new girlfriend, turning her in the process, and then mount a full-scale attack on the castle, which Ash and crew then have to combat. After some fierce battles, the heroes prevail, destroying evil Ash and his forces and reclaiming the book. And then, they use the book to send Ash back home, and S-Marts everywhere are safe for close to 25 years. 2013 saw a remake, which was inevitable, and it was pretty well liked, even though it doesn't necessarily feel like an Evil Dead movie. It has all the tropes, the cabin, the book, the cellar, and we get a bit of new mythology with the revelation that you can cure someone of the possession by burying them alive. Also, the book tells of an abomination that will rise after claiming 5 souls, and depending upon your definition of how it claims the souls, then yeah, I guess somehow it gets 5, and it rises, but pretty quickly and easily taken out by Mia. This one isn't necessarily in continuity with the originals, although again, if you want to view the series as one continuous storyline, you can easily place this one in order with the others, and Ash does make a brief appearance at the ending of the credits. So that brings us to the TV show, and interestingly enough, it seems to imply that all of the films are definitely in continuity. He mentions he went up to the cabin with a group of friends, not just Linda, implying that the first film is definitely in continuity. Lucy Lawless's character, Ruby, is presented as Annie's sister, showing that the second film also definitely happened. And although rights issues have kept them from mentioning Army of Darkness, it has been revealed that the second season will definitely reference it, meaning that all 3 of the original films have definitely happened in the context of the TV show. So there you have it. You can either view each movie as its own separate universe, with the TV show taking place in the 4th, completely new universe in which it's kind of an amalgam of all of them, or you can just view it as one continuous storyline using the kind of patchwork timeline that I gave you. Either way, you really ought to check out Ash vs. Evil Dead on Starz. It is a fantastic television show. And then please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to share my videos, you can. And I'll see you next time.